Family, what's good with you? It's your boy 2A-N-LA, and as always, fam, anything I say in this episode, prior episodes, and future episodes is just my personal opinion. Don't take it as fact. Don't take it as law. Always do your own homework and come up with your own conclusions. Right about now, fam, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and tap that like button for your boy. If you're new to the channel, I want to say welcome. Come on in. You can join the congregation by smashing that subscribe button and requesting all post notifications. And if you are an existing supporter of this channel, fam, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. You are the reason this channel is anything. All right, let's get this episode rolling. So look, fam, you saw it, fam. Look. Ooh, we got a hot review for you today. If you haven't seen my initial thoughts video, make sure you go back and check out my initial thoughts and impressions on this gun. But look, fam, I have been, over the last year, I have been really refining my gun collection. I have gotten rid of quite a few firearms, and I have replaced them with what I consider to be elite level firearms. And I really didn't have a lot of 10mm in my collection. What I did have was a Glock 20, and I had a CAA MCK kit for it, so I could have kind of a braced pistol 10mm kind of setup. And that was cool, you know, for what it was, but I had always wanted a really good quality 10mm PCC. And also in the back of my mind at the same time, I really wanted a B&T in my collection. And I looked at the ACP Pro and the SBC9 and kind of their 9mm configurations, which B&T and the GHM line. And, you know, that's really what B&T is really known for, even though they're much broader. They do handguns and rifles as well. But I think they're best known for kind of their pistol caliber carbine and brace pistol and SBR offerings, right? So I felt like there were two things that were missing in my collection: a good 10mm PCC and a B&T. And look, fam, I was able in one fatal swoop to check both of those boxes. So without further ado, let you take a look at your boy's B&T Spc10. Fam, look. This gun is what I would like to term as drop dead sexy, fam. Look at this beast right here. First of all, I just want to note how small the overall package is, and I'll put up the stats up there
so you can check those out. And we should also take a minute just to look at the way I set this bad boy up. So we got a Streamlight TLR RMR RM2 on there for light. We got it with the Streamlight pressure pad and a cloud defense mount. We've got the EOTech up there on a Unity riser mount, as well as the magnifier for the EOTech on a Unity fast inline mount. So your magnification, instead of being tilted off or canted off to one side or another, you can see that it's in line. And then when you drop it down, it's still in line. That eliminates the potential of potentially snagging it against something in like a more CQB environment. Other than that, fam, the gun is pretty much stock. For those of you who have not seen a 2A-N-LA review before, it's based on a scale of 0 to 100. There are 10 different categories, each category representing either 5, 10, or 15 points based on the level of importance to the overall review. If you get a 50 gun, that's an average gun, right down the middle gun. It's going to be very reliable. Don't think bad of a gun that's ranked 50 to 60. That gun is going to go bang every time. It's just kind of featureless. Lacking, but good, reliable, solid firearm. If you got something from 60 to 70, that's one standard deviation above the norm. Maybe that gun has a feature or two that you would not normally see on a gun ranked 50 to 60. If the gun is ranked 70 to 80, now you've got a good, higher quality firearm. That gun is a couple of deviations above the mean, and either it has some really outstanding or an outstanding quality to it. Maybe it's the operating system in the gun. Maybe it has an exceptional trigger or something like that. If you got a gun that's 80 to 90, well, now you're cooking with gas. Now you have a gun that is at or near the top of its class. And, you know, those guns are few and far between. If you've got something that's 90 and above, okay, now you're in grail gun territory. All right, so let's jump into this review. All right, up first, fam, fit and finish. Look, fam, B&T is well known for their production quality. This gun is very well put together. The finish is really good. The tolerances are really good. It has all the things that you would want on a firearm. Yeah, fam, I have little or no complaints relative to the fit and finish of this firearm. Now, this is a more duty-oriented gun, but look, fam, I'm going to go ahead and give this a nice, better than solid 13 out of a possible 15 for fit and finish. Next up, fam, reliability. Look, fam, this is one of the most important categories to me. That's why it's a 15-point category. I ran the snot out of this gun. In part because I wanted to test it, but in part because it was so much fun and I didn't have any hiccups whatsoever. This thing just ran and ran and ran and ran, and I found myself constantly needing to reload because I was having so much fun shooting it. But like I said, highly reliable. We're going to go ahead and give it a 14 out of a possible 15 for reliability. Next up, durability. Look, fam, B&T has been in the space for a very long time making quality firearms that are used the worldwide, whether it is for civilian use or special forces use. You can find B&T there. These are very durable gun, durable coatings. Look, fam, I can't say enough about what I think about this gun relative to how durable it is. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to give this a 14 out of 15 for durability. All right, fam, next up, trigger. Look, fam, you guys know I am a self-proclaimed trigger snob. It is unlike me to leave a trigger in a gun if I feel like there is room to improve. So, and because of that too, I'm not a huge fan of most stock triggers. But look, I kept the stock trigger in this B&T. It pulls at about a 3.5 pound trigger pull weight, which is not, you know, super light, but what you would expect for a duty gun, probably better than you would expect for a duty gun. It has a little take up, clear defined wall, crisp clean brake. Let me let you see the reset. That's the reset. It has a little take up. So look, fam, it is perfectly fine for what this gun is meant to be, which is a CQB kind of close quarters sub pistol or SBR type firearm. Perfectly acceptable. It's not Hyperfire or, you know, that new Timney 2-stage trigger that's crazy. It's not that. But it's a solid trigger. Could you get away with leaving the factory trigger in and being happy? Absolutely, you could. So for trigger, we're going to get this a 12 out of a possible 15 points. Next up, accuracy. Look, fam, when you hurling 10 meters down range with something like this in your hands, you know, how accurate does it need to be, right? So this was one area where going into the review, I really wasn't sure how the gun was going to perform, but I gotta say, fam, I found the gun to be very accurate, particularly for what its usage were. I went from really close, kind of 5 to 7 yards, and then I backed it out as far as 50 yards, and I found it to be very accurate. I was on a relatively shorter range when I was doing most of my drilling and everything, so I didn't take it out to 100+ yards to see how it would perform in under those circumstances. But, you know, again, this is a pistol caliber carbine. It's meant for more close quarter interactions. For me personally, yeah, it'd be nice if it was highly accurate at 150 yards. But if I'm 100 yards in, 75 yards in, 50 yards in, more than likely it's going to be, if you're using something like this, it's going to be probably 25 to 50 yards tops. And so look, it certainly did the job. And so for accuracy, we're going to give this bad boy an 8 out of a possible 10 points. Next up, fam, ergonomics. Look, fam, if it doesn't feel good, you're not going to want to shoot it. If you don't want to shoot it, you're not going to get proficient at it. So I think the ergonomics of a gun are a big factor in how we view these things. And so look, I found the grip to be very comfortable. I found the gun to be very well balanced, well put together. Obviously, it's on kind of an AR-15 platform, even though it has some kind of proprietary componentry to it. So if you don't know, a lot of B&Ts, on B&T guns, the serialized portion is the upper, not the lower, as is the case on traditional AR-15s. And the AR-15 and the lowers in this particular case vary. So you are looking at kind of the Glock version of this, and so it takes Glock magazines. They also make a SIG version, and they may have others, but that's what makes this gun pretty unique. And so I found the ergonomics and the feel to be really good, the gun to be really well weighted. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to give it a 9 out of a possible 10 for ergonomics. All right, next up, fam, aftermarket support and maintenance and upkeep. We're going to put these two categories together. Each are 5-point categories. So what I would say about aftermarket support is, because the bottom half, the lowers of these things are really designed to work with either Glocks or SIGs. There is a lot of support for those two platforms. Now, the upper is a little bit different. It's still designed to be kind of an AR-15 platform. There are some proprietary things about B&Ts, so I'm going to give it a solid 4 out of 5 for aftermarket support because of that blend. Also, kind of the takedown method is very similar to what you would expect from an AR-15, despite the fact that it has this very lowered. So again, we're going to give it a 4 out of 5 for aftermarket support and maintenance and upkeep. All right, fam, next up, affordability. Look, fam, look. You know, a lot of times, this is the part where I hang my head and I just, you know, gotta bow down. I'm expected to give out a 1. If I'm lucky, every once in a while, I'll give out a 2 for a lot of these high-end 2011 pistols that you guys see on the channel. It should speak to you. It should speak to you when I run across a gun that's MSRP'd at like $2,800, $2,900, and I feel like, oh, what a bargain! So this is not. I would not call this a bargain. It is still a very expensive gun, particularly for a pistol caliber carbine. It does represent kind of the higher end of that market, certainly, but I would not call it unobtainium. And so, you know, kind of for the price of a staccato P, maybe for a little bit more, you can get you something like this. And fam, I gotta say, it is worth every penny. So affordability, we're gonna go ahead and give the B&T Spc10 a 3 out of possible 5. All right, fam, last but not least, flex. Is Instagram gonna go crazy? Are your boys gonna be like, damn? Is everybody going to start crowding around you at the range when you pull this bad boy out of your range bag? The answer to that, fam, is a resounding yes. Yes, 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 fam. This is one of the reasons why I had to get, at some point, a B&T in my collection. For some, I know you guys are like, probably, well, you have everything in your collection. Some things are harder than others to get in the state of California. I know B&T is like very common in other places. When I go to Nevada to visit friends I have out there and for SHOT, and I go to local gun stores out there, a lot of stores carry B&T. But for some reason in California, stores don't carry them. People aren't checking for them. I don't know, so they're harder to get on the private party market. So, man, I was very, very fortunate, like I said, to be able to check 2 boxes with this one. 1, to get a B&T in my collection, and 2, a 10mm in my collection. So I feel like flex, particularly the way I have it set up here, is a given. We're going to give it a 4 out of 5 for flex. So all right, fam, when you add all of that up, you get a whopping 85 out of a possible 100 points. Look, fam, this is a very, very high quality PCC. This is a duty-oriented PCC. It is not a competition pistol, and so, like I said, it doesn't have that feathery smooth trigger that, you know, normally you would see in one of my firearms. But I'm fine with that given the purpose related nature of it. I think I've outfitted it very well. The fit and finish on it, and that, you know, that multi-shade of FDE, I think looks drop dead sexy, and we've of course enhanced that that look with the optic setup that we have. I mean, this gun is ready to go, and it runs. It runs. So for those of you thinking 10mm is going to be obnoxious, people at the range are going to hate me, the kick on something like this on a short barrel 10mm, it's not bad. Wasn't bad at all. It wasn't overly loud and obnoxious. It wasn't overly didn't have a lot of excessive kick to the gun. It surprised me, similar to the way my Maximum Defense PDX chambered in 76.39. Like you would think something that's kicking off that size of round would be really jolting, but it's relatively smooth. I found the same with this. I felt like, you know, B&T knows what they're doing. Been doing it for a long time in these kinds of platforms, and this is kind of the culmination of many, many years of doing pistol caliber carbines. Well, they did it right, fam. 85 out of possible 100. All right, fam, look, that's it for this episode. Until next time, as always, take care of one another and peace.